Welcome back. We're talking entrepreneurship in the media industry in Nigeria. We still have Professor James Sayo. Well, yeah, someone asked a question just before we went on break about how you can improve on their performance. He's a media practitioner.
Yeah.
You're going to answer that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really agree with him on his concern. And I want to say that there is a difference between conceptual and theoretical knowledge and how you articulate that knowledge through writing or through communication. And
in practical terms.
Exactly. And there are, the standards have fallen so appallingly, so late, to the point that if you take, for instance, an average Nigerian newspaper, and I'm not denigrating anybody, you discover that many times it is difficult to find writing that is stirring, writing that can really make you happy that you have read good prose. Many times you have that problem. And this is not far-fetched. You can't give what you don't have. This is very obvious. You got to prepare yourself to be able to discharge your responsibility creditably, competently. And that preparation has to come with education. Now, that raises fundamental questions about the kind of education we have today. That is why the School of Media and Communication has decided that there is time, the time has arrived for us to have that paradigm shift. And that explains why we are making this effort to ensure that anybody who comes to us, either as a student or as a participant, gets away having value, making that necessary change through the person's communication abilities, through the person's writing, and ensuring that the person also creates value, not just for himself or herself, but also for others. And that's where the spirit of entrepreneurship comes in.
Okay, one of our viewers, Ikmosa, says, I think the facilitators should move beyond teaching. They should help practitioners develop systems. So they should focus around specializations. Are you working with established media organizations to create systems that work? Or are you just interested in having students come to your school?
No. We're actually involved actively with the media. We have partnerships. And one way we have tried to...
1 second. We have Dr. Okunade from Port Harcourt. We'll come back to that. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you. Mine is just a very quick one. I want to quickly ask the professor on TV, incidentally, is also the director of academic planning. I just want to know if they have things that have to do with African studies in their curriculum, whether at undergraduate level or probably at the postgraduate level.
All right.
I want to know the African studies in their curriculum, because that also interests some Nigerians too. Like that is just precisely my question.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a component of that. We don't have a course known as African Studies, but there are components of courses which integrate this in them. So the curriculum is not something that you can say, okay, this is African Studies as a course. For instance, you have Communication and the Arts. It is a course I teach personally. And I can tell you that there is the content of the course is rich on African studies. You also look at African artistic expressions, things like music, like film, like sculpture, and a whole lot of other things. And of course, there is also a history behind all of these. So we look at the historical trajectories which have thrown this up from time to the present. If you're looking at the Nigerian and Nollywood now, you discover that it didn't just start in 1990 or 91, as many people believe. It goes back in time. So African history is also involved. But we also have an Institute of Humanities in the university, which is also interested in African studies. So even though we may not have something like a Center of African Studies, there are courses which have content that directly deals with African studies.
Okay, so back to that matter about working with established organizations to focus on building systems.
Yeah, One thing which is very significant and which we must acknowledge is that it is not enough to produce students or products. You must also make them very employable. Employability has been a very serious problem, especially for our nation. And one way we try to do that is to ensure that we have this robust relationship with industry. So there is that synergy. And one way we achieve this is through career fairs. This is one area that we have a close relationship with industry. So we invite industry partners who come around. We have a discussion with them. Our students are also involved. They tell us about the needs they have in the industry. We integrate this in our curriculum, and we train our products in conformity with these expectations. So you discover that at the end of the year, what we have at the end of every year is about 80% conservatively employment for our products. This is very important.
80%?
Yeah, absolutely. Because anybody, for instance, who is involved in an internship program with any of the industry partners ends up getting retained.
Okay, we have another caller
Yes,
on the line.
indeed. Hello, Prince.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Prince.
Good morning. I'm Prince. I'm calling from the Dakar. Please, I just want to ask you for a quick question.
Okay.
As a writer, I have a background in writing.
That's right.
But I want to update my skills as a writer. I write fiction.
Okay.
Now, does your school, do you offer courses, for writers, like creative writers?
That's right.
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm a creative writer myself. I write poetry, and I teach advanced creative writing in the School of Media and Communication. So you have a place on our program. You're welcome to join us.
Yes, you were saying something before the call came in.
Yeah, I was talking about the career fair that we have, which exposes our students to industry standards and practices, and the fact that we also have a vibrant internship program, which also exposes our students to industry. So it is not just about theory or concepts, it's also about practice. Before they graduate, they have industry experience. One other thing is that even our staff strength has a rich component of people who have been practicing in the media and creative industries. So it is not just people who are who have a rich component of that. I was myself in the media. I sat on the board of many newspapers. So every person who teaches in the School of Media and Communication has that background.
Richard Ikebe is there.
Absolutely. Engineer Vincent Matuka is there.
Oh.
Dr. Be Moluku is there. Our founding dean, Professor Mbowe Biakolo, who sat on the board of The Guardian for several years, is also there. There are several others. Dr. Issa Momo, a whole lot of people who have practiced the trade at the highest level. So there is that combination of both theory and practice.